So we've got this AmpRX Brown Box, but we're not entirely sure what it does.
Let's find out. The glorious sound of a 1961 Vox AC30 and an ES335.
Struggling to find a key centre.
Hey everyone, welcome to That Pedal Show. Dan here.
Mick here, hello. If you hear some grumbling amp grumbles, then it is just the way of things.
It is.
Old amps turned up, they grumble, so we'll deal with it. Anyway, please subscribe.
Indeed.
And go to That Pedal Show store and buy merch. It's the primary way we fund this show. We're very grateful to anyone who does that. Pedals, t-shirts, all that guff. And yes, this.
I've wanted to have a play with this for a while.
The number keeps changing. So, Brown Box, what is it? AmpRX Brown Box. It is a voltage attenuator. It's not a voltage regulator. Because what it does is it takes whatever's coming out of the wall, however many volts that is, and it makes it lower.
Yeah.
And the reason it does that, according to AmpRX, number of benefits. In the US, the first one was released in the US, and in the US, the standard wall voltage should be 110 volts. So electronic equipment, like a guitar amplifier, for example, is designed to use 110 volts.
In the States.
Yeah.
Yep.
In the UK, 240 or 230.
In the EU.
230.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got these voltage differences, and that's all well and good if that's what's actually coming out the wall. We've heard it said that in America they've seen up to over 130.
Yep.
What have you seen in the UK?
250.
250, so that's a lot.
Yeah.
So if your amp is designed to be used at 240 or 230, giving it more volts, A, changes the sound, B, puts more stress on the internal components. Whether you care about either of those things is a moot point. Most important to us, I think, gives you wild inconsistency.
Yeah.
Because if you go from 248 one night to 228 the next night,
it's a huge difference in the amp.
It's quite different.
Yeah.
So what Brown Box is saying, or what AmpRX is saying, is A, you might want to regulate that for consistency of tone and also for the safety of your equipment. What you might also discover in addition is a voltage number that where your amp sounds really sweet.
Right.
And that you like the most, and therefore you can aim for that, blah, blah, blah. Go on the AmpRX website and read about it.
Yeah, it's important to note that the varying voltages has a massive effect on the bias of the amplifier.
Right.
And, you know, you'll know you swing your bias 5% either way, and the amp sounds completely different. It reacts in a different way.
I've always been pretty biased.
And, yeah, I'll try not to be. Thank you, Eckhart. But if the external voltage is changing and you can't control that, then it's very tricky.
I'll get my iPhone out and do some close-ups for you while this is happening. Since we've plugged it in, which is really interesting. Since it's been plugged in, we've seen a variance of 10 volts.
We have.
Which I'm struggling to get my head around. Here we go then. It's now saying 232 volts. When we first plugged it in, it was saying 240. It's currently in its bypass position here.
So it's putting out whatever it gets in.
Yeah.
And it tells you the current draw. So at the moment, we are drawing half an amp at 231 volts.
Is that what that wants? Is that what's drawing half an amp?
Yeah, I mean, the power valves are on in that one, right? It's in standby mode.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're both plugged in. So
if we turn both the amps off, it'll go down to nothing, would it?
It should do, yeah.
Yeah. Let's try that.
So there you go. Right. So put that back on standby for us. Turn the power section on.
I've just turned the Marshall on just for clarity.
Right, there you go. And that's gone up to 200 milliamps at 232 volts. But if you turn that back off, yeah.
Is this the most scintillating video we've ever made? If we'd done it naked, would it be better?
Really no.
It'd be worse.
Really
right?
no.
So I'll turn the AC30 back on. And there we go. It's going, thanks very much. I'll have 300 milliamps. Turn the Marshall back on. Thanks very much. I'll have a bit more.
Yeah. And it's important to remember that we think, oh, 300 milliamps, that's okay. We're used to dealing with 9 volts. We're talking about 300 milliamps at 230 volts. It's a different thing.
Okay. All right. I'll tell the story about me using the Brown Box at a gig in a minute.
Yep.
Dan, so the AC30's turned on.
Mm-hmm.
As you can see, we're in the normal channel. And we've just got the knob here at the Magic Crunch setting. And without any volume attenuation, voltage attenuation, what we're going to do is get down to play, and then I'm going to turn it on, turn the voltage down, and you can tell me what you think at the end of all of that.
Okay. Okay. Why do I ever use anything else? Oh, you don't like that? It's a bit piercing? Yeah?
Absolutely. Love it.
It just gets me through to my bones, that sound.
It is fantastic. So
it was fascinating because you hear it get spongier, but the volume goes down.
Where I was stood, I was perceiving basically no difference.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, I could. It got a little bit less overdriven.
It got a bit less overdriven, but as you're playing, you can feel the change in the attack because I'm laying into it, right? And I can feel the amp go bang. As the voltage goes down, I'm going, you can feel it trying to push them out. Yeah, have a play and I'll do the same because I think sonically you mightn't perceive anything, but the feel under the fingers absolutely changes.
Yeah, well, I'll briefly tell you my story now. Last gig I did, I used two rocks because, I'm an idiot. And the Brown Box can power 2 amps, right? You do 1 voltage in out of the wall and 2 outputs to 2 amps. And I ran both my 2 rocks out of it and I put it to the first attenuation setting. Mm-hmm. And what I noticed was given that I know both of those amps really well, I know exactly what they do, I know how they respond, I definitely noticed reduced headroom.
Right.
Not in a bad way, but in a kind of, normally the amp would be giving me a bit more here.
I wonder if we'll hear it more in an amp with more headroom, because at the moment we've got the Vox is already pushing, which is just, it's in the most glorious biblical place.
It sounds fantastic. Okay, do the same thing then.
Yeah. You have a play.
I'll try some humbuckers. Dan was giving it some welly there. I'll give it slightly less welly, and just see if. We'll just see.
Yep.
I won't bother to video what's happening. All you need to know is Dan is going to switch it from its bypass state into its attenuation state, and then he'll go down through the voltages.
Yep. How low did you get?
I went all the way.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah. I went all the way, man. What the hell am I going to play? Okay. I noticed get a tiny bit spongier under the fingers.
Yeah.
But I barely perceived anything else at all.
Okay.
That is weird.
Mm.
Were you hearing differences as you
I
changed
could hear the change in clarity.
Yeah.
So I went for the last one. We went from basically all the way down, and I just zipped straight back up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if we're doing it right.
I believe so.
Maybe, because we're only getting 232 anyway, like the real test would be give it 250, give it too much, and then come down from there.
Yeah, I tell you what we can do, just while we're on the AC30.
I was hoping you were going to say this.
Yes. So it has one of those vintage...
I'll do it. You explain. I'll do the detail.
On the power transformer, the old AC30s, you've got a little switch that you can, depending on which country they were being sent to, they would put a link in for the correct tap on the output on the power transformer.
Like this would pass any sort of electrical safety these days.
I had that tested by Mike Hill back in the day. May he rest in peace. And it's such a great sounding amp. But the idea is that they could just change that link and basically send it to any country. So
are you going to say let's turn it down to 225?
Let's put it on 225. So you turn the amp off.
I'm going to turn this off. I don't know if that's required or not, but I'm going to do it. And then pull this pin out, yeah?
Yep.
Put my tongue in the remaining hole.
Put your backpack on the lower peg.
This is the moment Mick got electrocuted on that pedal show. Some people are going, please, please, please make it happen. Okay, so we're in 225 volts.
Yep.
We won't do any changes here. No changes here. Turn the amp back on.
Mm-hmm.
See if we can notice any difference now in the sound of the amp.
Bang!
Hey, poof. It's humming less.
Fizzy, and then it filled it out.
Yeah, I tell you what I think I'm noticing is in the full voltage setting, I'm hearing more brittleness,
Yeah.
more dissonance, more edge,
Yeah, okay.
and in the attenuated setting, I'm hearing more sort of regulated.
It's smoother.
That's my brain is leading me there. It's
Yeah,
smoother.
It's smoother.
It's definitely smoother in the distortion.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's something to do with the harmonics, but it is definitely smoother.
Yep. I dig it. Here's my question.
Yeah.
As the voltage coming in from the wall changes,
Yeah.
because they're seeing it now, it's drifting.
Yeah. There's a 10 volt drift.
Yeah. So when you attenuate it, does that continue to drift?
I assume so.
So you'd have to be, if you find your voltage, you've got to be constantly checking that you're on the right voltage.
I assume so. Let's plug the Marshall in, have a listen,
Mm-hmm.
and just see. So now we're going from 30 Vox watts to 100 Marshall watts, and this thing just, the lovely thing about the AC30. If you've never played an AC30, a vintage AC30, please do, because
It's so good.
it's like you turn it on, it's like, oh, that seems loud, and then it just doesn't get any louder.
Yeah,
it's
just more compressed and
more beautiful.
Yeah,
and it's just
it is magic. I seriously, sometimes I'm really questioning my life choices now. Why do I play anything else? What a great sounding amp. The other interesting thing about the old AC30, sorry, I shouldn't be doing this, but you see how where they cut out the hole for the speaker, and there's a
big bar down the
There's a
middle.
big bar down the
I've had
middle.
to sort of push the mics.
and it kind of disperses things a little bit.
So you get less beaming.
Less beaming.
Very interesting. I wonder if that's what it was designed to do.
I don't know.
Tangent City. All right, so the Marshall is basically the opposite of that. It just keeps getting louder. Thankfully, it is fitted with a master volume mod, this one, so we can regulate that a little bit. But
Okay.
with the AmpRX off, I'll keep an eye on the mic pre's, but anyway.
What does it say on the back that the normal
good shout.
voltage is?
I think it says 240, but I will just check. So it wants 240, it's
Right.
getting 232.
Okay.
That's a shame, because our other one's got a voltage selector on it.
Yes.
That's 50 watt.
Yeah.
All right. Here we are then. The master volume is sort of everything's straight up ish. Is that quite quick delivery?
Yeah.
See if that gets any more spongy if I do this. I've just put it on maximum attenuation.
Yes.
Can you, one of the things about the way the voltage is delivered through the amp, certainly in majors, for example, is it can really affect the dynamic of the note.
Okay.
Can you go from soft to hard?
Okay. So play like a normal human is what you're trying to say.
Play like a robot. Go from soft to hard.
Okay. So I go up and back.
Or just go, if you want.
Maybe we need to give it some love.
Okay, let's give it some love then. Because it is not...
You couldn't hear any. I couldn't feel anything, couldn't hear any difference.
It's
then.
not ticking over at the moment, so...
What'd you do then?
Yep.
That was wild.
Yeah, okay. So we went from 183 volts to 230.
Oh my God, that was wild. That was the best sound I'd ever heard. And then it just went, yeah!
Okay, that's kind of interesting. So with the Marshall crank there, just for the master and the input volume is a modded one, right? So it's got a master volume mod on it. The sweet spot for both is about 9. After that, it does that thing where it's just like...
Yeah.
But before that, it's really nice. And actually, I think what's happening is the Brown Box is essentially bringing it back into that sweet place.
Okay. Because as soon as it started getting chewy and gorgeous, and it was like... It was right in that magic Marshall area where you just wanted to rock. And then it was brutality.
Yeah. I felt that stood right next to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, seriously, it was glorious. And then it punched me right in the side of the head.
Yeah, I got a little bit of that. I'm going to try and try and get a bit of sweetness going with this guitar. So it should be nice. We'll just go back to that place. Oh, mummy. It's quite loud. And we'll see.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So definitely what I'm noticing, much more noticeable on the Marshall.
Yep.
The visceral note delivery at the two extremes was marked.
Yep, completely.
So actually digging in, bit more chew, bit more kind of compression, if you like.
It was like it's adding a level of compression to it, like really sweet.
Yeah, not an overt compression.
No,
though.
just like almost like parallel.
Yeah, almost like a limiter rather than
Of
compression.
Course. Yeah,
but and then harmonically, I want to say that in the mid ranges, it all sounds a bit sweeter and more together.
Yeah, it just didn't have any harshness.
Yeah, less harshness,
Yeah.
I went
Yeah.
on to the mix of the two pickups, so it didn't have all that bridge pickup bite, but
Right. Wow.
kind of interesting. I mean, I think to come up with any sort of conclusion, you'd have to use it over a period of time, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I think I'm going to take that to the gig
Yeah,
with the two smaller amps
interesting.
and see. In other words, can I take it to the gig and use it with two smaller amps?
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what your impression is. I mean, definitely from the gig I did, I just felt like sometimes you might be able to relate to this. Sometimes if you've got quite loud amps, the volume you need can sometimes be a bit sort of spiky and
Yep.
a bit punchy and a bit sort of aggressive, which of course is partly what we want. And then sometimes your amp can just be like, this, I can do no wrong.
Yeah.
It's loud, but it's just lovely.
Yeah.
And I felt like that at the last gig. I felt like the tone was together and not too kind of dynamically crazy, but I had plenty of volume and it sounded, harmonically nice. Can I put that down to that? I don't know.
I also wonder sometimes that bit of extra punch and aggressiveness in the notes is exactly what you need in a live situation.
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah. So that'd be really interesting. I'm hearing it with the Vox. I'm like, yeah, it's really cool because I could feel it.
Yeah.
With the Marshall, it's like, wow.
I think the harmonics are slightly sweeter. I do.
Yeah.
And this could all be psychosomatic, all right? So I fully accept that. But let's finish off, do a bit of playing, Dan, and we'll turn both amps on and get a nice mix of the two.
Yeah.
And see if that makes any difference
Yeah, okay.
using two amps. Because we like using two amps, right? I have finally managed to find a guitar that stays more or less in tune today, which is good. Okay, we'll go back up to non-attenuated. I'll turn down a bit because it is insanity. A bit.
Just a hair. Thank you, sir.
I'll put the AC30 in its happy place, yeah? And that Dan's got a bit of tape stuck on it and it goes clean, crunch. No
That's
difference
it.
in volume whatsoever. In fact, we'll just demonstrate. This is clean. A little bit different volume. That's bad.
That's not good.
That's really bad because that means we've lost the whole everything.
No.
Yeah.
Oh. I mean, we had to be doing something daft. That was
rock and roll.
That was so rock and roll.
So we think, right, we better just explain in case what was happening was Dan and I had got to the point where the Vox and the Marshall were cranking, like absolutely belting loud. Something decided it wasn't happy and it took out the ring main with it. And I do wonder actually if huge changes in asking the brown box to do things is putting a strain.
Yeah,
because we were drawing like well over an amp of current. I think.
See, we shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah,
I'm surprised that the HT fuse hasn't blown because the HT fuses are rated at an amp.
Yeah, well, don't know what it is in the brown box, but in these amps it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
it was a glorious sound, wasn't it? We've managed. We think that all the video files and the audio files have recovered, and that time will tell if that's the case.
But man alive, that was up to the point where we blew everything up. Was one of the best sounds we've had in this room. It was so rock and roll. I
think. I definitely think the viscerality of the Marshall was tamed greatly.
Yep. Yeah.
The harmonics are sweeter.
It didn't feel loud. Yeah. I mean, it was obviously loud, but it didn't feel like I wasn't going. Argh!
Yeah.
When I was just, it was just enveloping. It was a massive hug. Sat this close to it. It was absolutely delightful.
It was amazing. Unfortunately, we didn't hear too much of it all being hammered until Armageddon occurred. Anyway, it's subtle at lower volumes.
Yes.
And then once you start getting a fire-breathing amp, would it replace an attenuator? No. Like a power attenuator that goes between amp and speaker? No, it's not that. Is it like Edward Van Halen's Variac? No, because that goes down to 0 volts, I think you were saying.
It goes way down.
Way lower.
Way down. Yeah.
So no. Is it a way of going, oh, I really like my amp here.
Yeah.
You know how quite often we'll say this, if you've done loads and loads of gigs, you'll say, oh man, my amp sounded like ass last night. And tonight it sounds like God's ass.
Yeah.
It sounds amazing. And if you've ever wondered why that might be, voltage could well be the answer.
Completely.
Or part of the answer.
So getting you in a consistent, a level of consistency. My question is, though, we've seen a fluctuation of 10 volts just here today. So
do you have to keep an eye on it?
I think you'd have to keep an eye on it. And, you know, if it does drift, you need to readjust.
But I would say by taking that voltage down from, let's say you were getting more than 240, we were only ever getting 240. Coming down from there is definitely what brought the harmonics in check.
Yeah.
What gave a bit more smoothness in the sound.
Yeah.
And a bit more predictability, I would say.
Yeah.
Certainly felt sweeter with the 335 through the Marshall. All right. As usual, we've probably made it way too complicated. And
yeah, but we did manage to blow everything up.
It was awesome.
That was awesome.
Well, hopefully nothing's tremendously damaged. We'll report back when we decide what's actually been killed. Actually, to be fair.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we've blown the fuse in this.
All right.
We've asked that to do too much, and I hope that doesn't reflect badly on them.
No, we were just being silly because you're supposed to set it up at the appropriate voltage for the amp. We were just going, come on.
Yeah, maybe someone from Brown Box would like to comment on that.
Idiots. But, man.
Yeah. Clark, Cassandra, great.
Yes.
Nice to meet you guys.
Hi.
Thank you for taking the time to talk to us today.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we've let's start at the beginning. We've run the AmpRX, this one, the Brown Box studio, right?
200.
Great. And obviously we have the 220, 240 volt version. We got on great with it. We ran it up with a vintage AC30 and a 100-watt plexi, and we had them running at the same time. We started off with the AC30, great results, went down through the voltages, and felt the kind of the different transients and maybe some of the harmonics come together in a really nice way. And obviously it took a little bit out of the volume too, but actually it was a feel thing more than a volume thing. Is that what we should be expecting?
Yes, absolutely. It's all about your experience with your amp. I mean, there is, some scientific levels of protection that we can explain like mathematically, but more than anything else, it changes the feel of your amp, the feel under your fingers from your instrument, um, and the push and pull and the response between what's here and what's coming out of your amp.
Yeah, well, that's good news because we definitely felt that. So the next question is a sort of more prosaic one because it's a voltage attenuator and not a voltage regulator. Have I got those terms correct?
You do.
Yeah. Does that mean it's always going to attenuate by the same amount voltage-wise if the amount coming out of the wall differs?
So it totally depends on whatever's coming out of the wall. It's just doing math percentage wise compared to what's coming out of the wall.
Right. So if you've got a 10-volt swing coming out of the wall, then the brown box is going to swing by a percentage of that. So it kind of, I guess the point I'm trying to get to is you kind of going to have an eye on it. If the voltage coming out the wall is swinging a lot, if your sweet spot is this, you might be up and down a little bit during the night. Yeah.
Yeah. We expect people to feel a difference and then go back and check. And then it's like, oh, it's because it's up a couple volts or something like that.
Yeah. Typically, what would you, in the US, for example, what would that swing be?
Oh, honestly, it would only be like 2 to 3 volts
Okay.
in practice. So that's one of the things that we discuss when we talk about the attenuator versus regulator question. It's not typically like boom, 10 volts, boom, 10 volts. It's kind of like a creeping thing if it even happens at all.
Yeah.
So there's like a voltage drop whenever everything starts going. But like in the US, for example, we said it's usually like 2 to 3 volts, maybe enough for you to feel a little bit of a difference and go back and check. But it's not usually like a huge swing. That's not normal.
Yeah. It's slightly off topic, but how did you guys get into this? Do you repair amps? You work on amps all the time? Is that your business?
So actually, I'm Clark and I are both musicians. He's a bass player, and I'm a violinist, and I played electric violin. I still play electric violin. And years ago, I was using the Brown Box with my Marshall amplifier on tour, um, as an artist, and I kept in touch with the original inventor of it. And when things changed after 2020, we found out that the inventor was selling the business, and Clark and I had the opportunity to take over, and we moved it to Nashville.
No way. Oh, how cool. So violin through a Marshall.
Yes, correct.
I get
7-string flying V violin through a Marshall.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm on YouTube.
sick.
I'm on YouTube right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so
You'll find me.
to our specific problem then. I say problem. We just blew the mains fuse, right? The fuse that's in by the IEC there.
Yeah.
And so the question is, when you're changing radical level, well, I say if you go from like minimum attenuation to maximum in one hit, is that putting a strain on something somewhere?
I because it is AC voltage, I wouldn't be fiddling with it like a pedal.
Yeah.
Is my quick answer to that.
Yeah, I think we can understand what you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Our assumption was, we've gone from maximum to minimum, and it in between the steps, is there kind of a part where you go back to full voltage, or does it actually go to the next step down?
It should be going to the next step down. It's basically yeah, it never goes back to bypass in
Yeah.
between.
Yeah.
It's steps.
Okay. And the
I
fact,
think,
sorry,
sorry, I think that in your situation, when you might have been pushing the upper limits by pushing the upper limits of those two particular amps together at the same time.
yeah,
And then in combination with the quick switching, it might have just gone a little haywire. I mean, you can power two amplifiers with one brown box, but I think you might have just been pushing the upper limits of it.
yeah, I think that's, I mean, the Plexi was literally flat out and the AC30
Yeah.
was literally flat out. So they were both hammering. I did a gig a couple of weeks before with two Rocks, a 100 watt and a 50 watt, and they were, you know, not flat out. And that was super interesting in a live situation, actually. I mean, you know this because people tell you all the time, but super interesting for me. It just felt like I could lean into the amp a little more.
Yeah.
So there wasn't that massive range of dynamic, which sometimes you want and sometimes you just don't, because it's like, whoa. And it just
Right.
felt sweeter across the board. So does that sound familiar to you guys?
Absolutely. And we hope that you can find that, whatever that voltage is for that amp, and then no matter where you are, run it at that and have that control.
Great. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have any more feedback for bearing in mind the email that we sent you, or do you think we've covered it?
Yeah, actually, so one thing is that with the Brown Box 200 series, the fuse that comes on board in the unit is 2.5 amperes.
Yeah.
So, um, as of now, it's coming on board with 2.5 amps in the unit, but we're also shipping it with 3 amps with a
Okay.
3 amp fuse, so that a person has the option to get a little bit closer to that upper limit. So your situation is a great example of a player who would want to opt for that 3 amp fuse, because you know that you're going to be playing two larger amps in super loud settings and really trying to push them to their limit.
Yeah.
That's safe, but more than a 3 amp fuse is not safe for a Brown Box 200. Our 120 volt units in the United States have a 5 amp fuse,
Right.
but the 200 series maximum is 3 amps. So I think there was a mention in the email of putting a 5 amp fuse in it. You're going to want to take that out if that's the case,
Okay.
and draw it down to a 3 amp.
Okay. Because you can damage the transformer or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah. If you
Yep.
don't
Yeah.
do that. Awesome. Okay.
And the reason the fuse values are selected where they are is to protect the gear. Like, we want the fuse in the brown box to go before the fuse in your gear, or before something else happens to your gear. Those things that we will not name.
Right.
Yeah. We get it.
Tragedies.
We get it. Awesome. Thank you so much, guys. Thanks for the feedback and
Yeah.
the input. I hope you enjoyed the video. Dan and I certainly enjoyed going nuts with a couple of amps, as we always do.
Nice.
What else should I ask you? Are we expecting any new products from AmpRX anytime soon?
We are hoping to have rack mountable versions of the
Cool.
200 series. So those people in studios that want to have control over multiple amps, we have a lot of amp switchers here, especially in Nashville in studios.
Yeah.
So we have a big rack unit that basically is a big boy brown box and then a stereo version. So we're working on that for our friends overseas.
Awesome. Okay, guys. Thank you so much for your time. Really
Yeah,
appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Yeah.
man.
Talk to you again.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Please go to that pedal show store and buy stuff. We've said that. Thank you so much to our patrons on Patreon.
Yes.
You really help us do what we do.
Yeah.
And also click the link down and have a look at the description. If you buy something via any of those links, that helps us out as well. So thank you.
Yes. And if you think we were just being idiots, tell us how we were being idiots. I'd love to know. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.